Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So thank you to everybody that joined us for the new moon messages. It was a blast to hang out with you guys for a couple hours. And if you guys are interested in meditations, overnight affirmations, subliminals, definitely check out the new channel linked in the description box below. If you're interested in a 5-minute customized subliminal or a 10-minute customized subliminal, those are both offered in the Buy Me a Coffee shop, also linked in the description box. So let's go ahead. All right, I'm using some scrolls from iScribe Steph. I'll have her link down below as well. Taking a step aside. And allowing Spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, so as I'm stepping into this space, there's almost this feeling of vacancy. It's like this question of, well, what next, right? There seems to be something like just moving in the background. So I'm getting a sense of like, this may be for some people who are, timelines are part of your paradigm. There's something about a shifting timeline. There's some sort of decision that we've made or that we are about to make that has shifted us into a different place where actually what we are experiencing might be quiet or it might be peace. Right? And we may not recognize that because we've been used to being in survival mode. So when we actually have peace or we have quiet, we think it's stagnancy. So that's a little bit of a message for someone. But let's get into this. Let's see who we're speaking to. Okay. Feeling this one. It's like, okay, those usually come out together. That's funny. Those two usually come out together. So these are the two scrolls that I've pulled. Being told to take them this way. Being told to stack them. Okay, so right now one of the things that I'm seeing is I'm almost seeing this little guy in here, and he seems like he's sitting at the controls. And this is us. This is our conscious self. What we may not necessarily be aware of is how big the vehicle we're driving is. So someone is coming into contact with a greater awareness of actually how far they extend, right? Rather than just existing inside of this illusory space that we consider our 3D vessel. We have our interaction, we have our senses that are the whole way that we experience this place, but someone here is understanding just how big that vessel is. And as they're doing that, there's some sort of elevation that's taking place here, where we may be having some more experiences in the astral, or we may be experiencing things that feel like it's a higher realm. Some of you, it may be experiencing things like these sudden insights that we weren't aware of before. So everyone's going to experience that higher dimension a little bit differently. You may have experienced it one way and then now it's shifted and you're experiencing it a different way. And there seems to be a greater consciousness that we're coming into contact with. So whoever this message is, for some of you, this is going to be something that operates within a paradigm. So for example, if you're Buddhist, it may be something that operates in a Buddhist paradigm. If you're Hindu, it may be something that operates within a Hindu paradigm. It has some sort of label, some sort of identity for some of you. For others of you, it doesn't. Again, it may be information from a higher self. It may just be these profound insights, but we have a direct understanding that something else is going on. It feels like we're understanding that something greater is at play. And this is because we've allowed ourselves to open and to shed another layer, which is to allow ourselves to understand that we aren't just this, right? There's more. There's the logical understanding, and then there's the experiential understanding. Someone has experienced this. So this is very interesting. Maybe, for example, one of the ways that people first experience this is when they first get interested in spirituality and they have their awakening, right? And then another time that it might happen is when someone learns to see their aura. Another time might be, when somebody starts to understand that the things that they think really affect reality. So there's different stages to which this can happen. For someone here, we're coming into a place where it's expanding more than what we had previously understood. So I love that. And I do see somebody here sitting in a room meditating and just trying to open their senses to hear how far they can hear, to see how far they can push their consciousness. This is what has opened up some sort of timeline, is essentially this understanding of this greater self. I personally don't operate under the idea of timelines, but I know a lot of you do, and so this is the language that is coming through to me, because it is a message for somebody. So there's, I even have a T here in the corner, And I'm being told to say the letters that are showing up here. So I have a T, S, H, and G. I don't know if those are important for anybody, but I felt like I should throw those out there. There's also this sense of coming to a different form of belief system for someone, also, you know, maybe a new paradigm of some kind. So this is very interesting because we have a lot of moving pieces inside of our perception, inside of our ideas. We have these new experiences that are opening up, whether they're downloads and information or insights or profound understandings of self that are opening up our viewpoint of how small we are. We're understanding we're actually quite large, right? And not just in the way that we show up in the world, but in our existence. That we're actually extending beyond ourselves quite a great deal. And so in order to honor that, we have to step into that, right? So this is part of that timeline that somebody is opening up. It's this idea of I have to show up in a different way because I have a different understanding of self. So I dare say that a lot of you are actually trying to accomplish something right now, and you may feel like you're in a period of stagnancy with that accomplishment. And if that's the case, just know it's okay. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this as somebody who I spent many years being a professional artist, sometimes when we're creating something, we have to let it gestate. Right? Just like anything that we try to birth, we have to give it space to gestate. That's a time where we're not necessarily doing anything. It has to do what it's doing in the background in our creative spaces, whether or not we're consciously aware of that, before it can be fully formed or before it can come out. It's the energy has to form, right? I experience that with these readings. There's days where I sit down and I understand a very big energy is trying to tap in, especially the deity readings. There's been several times where, if you guys ever caught me when I had the paper and I had written things down first, a lot of times the reason why that will be is because I have to give it a day for that energy to really kind of gestate inside of me before I'm even able to speak about it. Otherwise it just comes out in these jumbled words. So if you are in the process of creating a business, writing a book, working on something big, you know, maybe for your job you have a project and you're working on something big, but you have this blank space where nothing is happening. Maybe it's your life, right? Creating your life. You have this blank space where nothing is happening. Allow yourself some patience. You know, take that space to just fully be you, because the process is happening in the background, right? And it'll come out when it's ready. It'll happen when it's ready. Right now, the message seems to be to just kind of enjoy the space where this information is being brought down, where these things are being channeled. Someone here also, it's almost as though we've encountered something greater than ourselves, only to discover that it is ourself. So whoever that message is for, that's fairly profound. That's a very profound insight to have. Okay. Okay, there is a sacred contract here, and then we have Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. And those two really do go together. It feels like someone here, as you're stepping into this space and as you're going forward and you're taking up the space, it's almost as though either we understand what our destiny is, right, what we came here to do, or we are trying to find out. And we're stepping forward confidently. Part of the thing that we may be working on right now is having confidence in that. For some of you, you've already established that confidence and you're going forward towards this thing that you feel that you were destined to do, or that you made a sacred contract about, right? So this is really this kind of like higher level energy. So someone is really tuned in at this time. Even if you feel like nothing's happening, you're actually quite tuned in. And there's personal goals, personal things, and in order to understand what those personal, like, how do I want to say it, like true path, our true path is, it is a little bit of a maze. If you look at this at the very bottom, there's like this labyrinthian maze-like structure, and this contract is coming out from inside of it. We have a lot of internal spaces to navigate before we really come into contact of what that actually is. For some people, they're, you know, they had it when they were kids and they just held on to it, right? And they were able to follow that trajectory, and that's great. But a lot of us, we had that taken from us, or we had that suppressed in some way, whether we did it ourselves or it was suppressed by others. For some of us, we were made fun of, and so you have these issues built up around it that have to be kind of peeled away as life goes on. But whatever the case is, whoever this collective is, we're on the hunt for this, or we've already discovered it, and now we're just taking these confident steps to clear things out in our life, to make space to actually accomplish that, or to follow through with confidence, right? Now this is interesting because on the other channel, the the next subliminal is actually about confidence. It's self-confidence subliminal. So I don't know if that's going to post today or if it's going to post tomorrow, but it'll be in the next few days if you are working on that, just for an added tool. Okay, and then we have the 1. I'm putting that up there. Okay. And so again, some of you may be understanding just how expansive you are, right? You're understanding interconnection. You're coming into the greater awareness of we are all one. You may be experiencing heightened levels of consciousness at this time. Tons of synchronicities, tons of coincidences, tons of deja vu, tons of dreams at this time. It's almost as though that higher level of awareness is trying to filter down into us. And it's because you've taken these bold steps, right? You're stepping into your divine vehicle. You're stepping into your divine self, right? And as we embody that, there is no choice but to receive this information and to receive the totality of that energy. And that's what's really happening here. Someone is starting to unfold. Okay. And then here we have the gift. So when we have this card of the gift, this is a very regal figure, right? And this is really kind of reminding me, if you look at this, I mean, this face that's in here really reminds me of that mask. Some of you can see it, some of you may not. This is really this kind of wild, primal sort of energy. Some of you may not be experiencing it as higher. Some of you may be actually experiencing this as lower. You know, whatever your paradigm happens to be for this type of energy. And this is an energy that we come to after many personal battles, right? There has to be a process of alchemy that takes place, and that alchemical process isn't always easy. It often requires us to have interactions and relationships that really test us or really put us through the fire. There's periods of isolation involved in this. There's periods of healing involved in this. And this whole totality of your experience is now being viewed as the gift, right? It's an understanding that this greater self has been driving this vehicle the entire time. We're the experiencer, but there's something else outside of us that is actually seeking this experience. We're just kind of the sense of it, right? The sensory organs of it. And whoever this message is for, this is really coming into a space where we're understanding a higher level of consciousness, a greater consciousness than just this ego identity consciousness that we live in. This consciousness can be like touched, right, in meditation. It can be touched in, you know, plant medicine. It can be touched at different times, but to fully come into it and to embody it is a completely different experience. I dare say that for some of you, rather than feeling you've shifted timelines, you feel that you have destroyed your own timeline, right? That you understand that there's still a clock on your wall and you're experiencing it, but you have an awareness beyond time. And so from this space, someone is really taking stock of, why am I here? Who am I? What am I doing? You may have already asked these questions, and now you're just really gaining the confidence to go do the thing that you want to do, right? That is part of this sacred contract, that is also part of this gift. This is where we really come into an actualized state. And you hear me talk about that a lot on this channel, the state of actualization. And that for me personally, I think that that is the point of all of this. And this is really a state of awareness and awakeness that we don't normally experience. And so I think that whoever this message is for, even though things may be at a standstill, for some of you it's not going to be, but for those of you who it is at a standstill, powerful things are happening. They're just happening behind the scenes. And I think that you already know that. I also want to point out one other thing about this card. Her hands are cupped just at the solar plexus level. So again, we come into this confidence, right? This idea of my abilities and what I'm capable of, and my self-efficacy. Someone is stepping forward boldly into some things that maybe they wouldn't have done before, maybe stepping outside of their comfort zone, or understanding how to have that certainty of self, which is really what is fueled by this energy. When we have this energy, this is what pours through us when we've done the work on other areas. I feel that whoever this message is for, we've done work in the heart space, we've done work in the throat space, we've done work in the sacral. And it doesn't mean that that work ever stops, but we've done that work, right? We're constantly maintaining our system because, you know, it gets battered around here on this earth walk. And so whoever this message is for, we're really we're understanding the fine tunings of things. And I want to point out one other thing. When I have this face, I have the eyes, I have the nose, and then I have this right here. I don't remember the name of that chakra, but it falls just at the bridge of the nose, below, like between and below the eyes, just a little bit. You may be having sensations there. There's, okay, I was told to leave that there, so I'm just going to say that. Okay. Let's see, one more. Ooh. Okay, I have to say, I heard round and round, and the reason why I have to say it is because all of a sudden, this spiral stood out to me. There's a very faint spiral here that stood out to me. What is it about this round and round? And then I saw a heart here. Someone here, you maybe have a cycle inside the heart space or a heart-related matter that feels like a round and round. Understand that it's like the spin cycle in your dryer, right? Where is that a spin cycle inside a dryer? Is this, you know, spinning, where it's like the water is falling off and it's going to be dry. There's something here about emotional processing that's taking place in whatever this round and round is. Okay. Okay, and I have to say it because I was about to shuffle and they told me this one, we're talking about time, right? And if you notice, this is a round thing that has been sort of distorted, and the word on this is purpose. So if you are finding yourself in this sort of round and round energy, particularly in an area of the heart space, there's a purpose to it. And so it's important to really assess what might be taking place. What is it inside of us that is trying to grow and expand? And then we have time again. What seems to be trying to grow and expand is balance, and then on the bottom of that is ego. Okay. They're telling me to take one more card. Okay, flow. One of the things that may be important at this time is to go with the flow. There seems to be a timing involved in everything that's taking place. I'm saying that because the equal armed cross showing up inside this card of balance. Okay, they told me to stop, so I have to stop. So that's the message. Whoever's message this is, I wish you the best of luck with this. There's a very heightened level of energy and consciousness that's taking place in this, and I think that's amazing. I'm kind of excited for whoever this is because there's a lot of new experiences that are coming in or are coming in shortly. So whoever's message this is, if this resonates with you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.